I don't really understand why everybody's so bearish about crypto right now. Like, not a lot has changed since I made my last few videos, but I just want to reassure people that the data is suggesting that things are better than they feel. When everyone is bearish on crypto Twitter, YouTube, it's often a sign that we're probably in for a reversal. So we'll talk about kind of my, data-driven thoughts behind that tonight. We'll look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, stable coins, all the exciting stuff to get a clear picture of the crypto market and where it's going. You're in crypto simulation theory. This is the Gaussian snake, not financial advice at all, but it's fun to watch. And I always have trouble pointing in the right direction because it's backwards on here. But please join my Telegram group for great discussions if you don't want to have to wait a few days for a video like this one. But let's go ahead and dive in and see what is going on with Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin on the daily. And I wanted to pull up the daily time frame first, throw up a Gaussian channel, just to point out a few things that I've spoken about in my previous video. So one of the things I talked about was the death cross of the 100-day HMA with the 200-day HMA. For those of you who are new to my channel, I use whole moving averages, HULL, instead of simple moving averages. Yellow is 20, blue is 50, white is 100, and the red is the 200. So yeah, this death cross happened, and this was on January 10th, and I did a video saying, hey, I don't think we're going to turn around without some resistance at the 200-day, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. But notice that we had some golden crosses recently. We had a golden cross of the 20-day with the 100-day, a golden cross of the 50-day with the 100-day. These, tend to go in sequence. We do have a little bit of a compression happening between the 20 and 50 right now, but it looks like we're about to get another attempt at the 200-day relatively soon. Now, will we break through it? Well, we need to look at some data to be able to answer that. But one of the things that I did call the bottom on, it was 89K. I said that's probably the bottom. And then here, I didn't really call this bottom, but notice like what happened. You can tell where the demand really is, right? You get these down wicks that are just bought up very, very fast. And the same thing happened here. Another down wick, didn't even make it to the median line of the Gaussian channel. So notice how we never got really sustainably below the median line of the daily Gaussian channel. We're really trying to fight really hard to keep this green. And I don't know if that's going to happen. It is the daily time frame after all, so it's kind of hard to say. We've been just straddling this 1.272 fib. This was the expected first stop for Bitcoin, and it continues to be an area of where we're building out quite a bit of volume. Not unexpected at all. It's completely normal. Bitcoin currently is coming in at $105,358 dollars and 39 cents as of the making of this video. So I feel like I'd like to get off the daily time frame because it's day to day is very volatile. Let's pull back a little bit and look at the weekly, see what's going on there. Okay. Yeah, so on the weekly time frame, we had that golden cross back in December. We talked about dumping into the golden cross. That has happened. Let me turn off the Gaussian channel. It's not going to be quite as relevant at the moment on the weekly time frame. And I also want to, I'm even going to turn off volume because I'm getting a little annoyed by it right now. Okay, well, didn't have to do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull out a little ways here. We have a bullish hammer candle on the weekly time frame. Very long down wick and a nice a nice green hammer. And this is happening on a flat 20 week. Now we haven't been able to get above the 20 week HMA sustainably, but we have been holding the 50. So this is really strong market behavior. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. This looks like a very bullish setup heading into February. If we turn on a weighted logarithmic Bollinger Band, see what is going on there. And let's turn off the moving averages because we don't need to see them right now. We just looked at them. We can see that we're kind of like chopping our way into, and we actually even touched the median line of the Bollinger Band. Not uncommon at all when you're about to take another leg up. See, we did this back in early 2024, almost exactly a year ago, and here we are doing it again. There's a lot of market behavior that resembles what was happening a year ago. And I'm actually thinking something like this is very likely to occur again to take us to the 1.414 fib or even a little bit above it. I actually think we could go a little above the 1.414, and that actually would not get me thinking we're in a market cycle top. I do feel like a period of Bitcoin crabbing is coming, right? A longer period, but you know, when is that going to hit? Who knows? This looks like it's turning up for a move to the upside. We need more evidence of that. We can't just go off of a weighted logarithmic Bollinger Band, but it certainly is a good place to start. Another place I'd like to look is the wave trend. That has been a pretty good indicator during this crab trend we've been in. I'm going to turn off the volume. And so the weekly wave trend has been tricky, right? So like you had this little leg down after having a bearish divergence, and it's just been going sideways, but green. So this just makes me think we're probably going to head back to the upside. It's not convincing, but it's just flat, 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 right? Like flat is hard to read. Okay, let's see, ADX and DI. Let's look at that. So we do have a declining bullish trend on the ADX. The green DI, I'm sorry, on the green DI going down is not a great thing. We had the cross of the ADX. ADX is now a trend strength of 50. So any moves by the green or red are going to be quite volatile. And so, I mean, what I'd like to see happen here, and what I think is likely to happen, is we're likely to see a bullish impulse on the green. Green's been just kind of crabbing down. I think it's gonna go up in February. I think that is where Bitcoin is going to rise. The ADX and DI makes me think that. Let's see if there's anything else that might make me think that. How about the stochastic oscillator? Yep, see, stochastic oscillator is just kind of crabbing around at these upper levels. It is currently at 90, so we could see a little bit of a pullback down coming in later in the week. Maybe, what is today? Thursday? Maybe we'll get like a turnaround Thursday, but the weekly still just looks really good. So I don't know, maybe next week. It's hard to say, but you can get into the upper ranges of the stochastic oscillator and stay there for quite a while. So we are in the upper ranges, which makes me feel pretty good. Let's see if there's any other indicators that might give us some kind of indication about what is likely to happen. I know the parabolic SAR is printing. It looks like we had 2 bearish dots, and it looks like we're actually getting a bullish dot. Yeah, we have 2 bullish dots. That's really good. That's a good sign. Maybe we're going to see some inflection here with Bitcoin. So yeah, that looks really neutral at the moment, but this could turn into something good. Although if you looked at what happened during this really long crab trend period, we got 2 bullish dots only to have more bearish ones, but we only had 2 bearish ones. So this is a very sideways move. I think it's more likely to resolve to the upside than to the downside for sure from everything that I'm seeing here. Let's see if there's anything else we can look at. Now, I still have a lot of other stuff to cover in this video. If you don't like long videos, probably not best to subscribe to my channel because I like to go in depth. I'm more about quality over quantity. Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm not even talking about Bitcoin topping indicators. I mean, I feel like it's ridiculous that people who think this market cycle is over. It's like, how could you even think that? Let's look at the Trix bubble. These are shorter term moving averages. And it looks like we're emerging from a downtrend. So we came down with this is the 5-week EMA. And we have I believe this is the 7-week EMA also crossing down. So we may see a reversal here, or we could go further down, right? So, there's nobody knows exactly where the market's going to go, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here. True strength indicator. Let's see what that looks like. So let's see, reverse true strength indicator. I have so many indicators that sometimes I forget where even these things are. So true strength indicator is still leaning bullish, okay? It's still above the signal line. So as long as it stays above the signal line, we can actually enter into this upper region, which is my base case. I do think we will actually make it back up here again. And I think that some surprising market behavior could emerge. This next bullish impulse leg, I think, is going to be less volatile than what happened here from 49K to, so I don't think we're looking at a 2X. Let me be clear about that. But I think there's a possibility we could wick near the 1.618. And that is going to make navigating the rest of the year very tricky should that happen. If you look at the risk curve, I think there's a very good chance that relatively soon in February, we head up to this next risk level. So that would put price action at around 100 and we'll just say 135 to potentially even getting, even into this red zone. I don't want to see us get to the 1.618. I don't, because that is just maxing out our risk. 100 risk right now is 188K. We need time to be able to build out like another 2X move. Okay. I think a more reasonable move that is likely to happen is a move to 80 risk, which is around 135K. And I think that is kind of where Bitcoin is likely to go in February. If you just kind of zoom out, this looks like an uptrend, right? This is an uptrend until proven otherwise. Could we come down a little bit more into February? And it's possible, but I don't know. This bullish hammer candle on the weekly looks nice. Let's see if we can close that way. We still have a few days for the weekly close to come in. But like, if you just keep zooming out on Bitcoin, you start to see some really nice things emerging. So like if we go to the 2 week, which is another one of my favorite time frames, look how healthy that looks. Like on the 2 week, that is bullish. I mean, how could you not say that's bullish? Let's pull up a Gaussian channel and it is just super, super bullish. Like that is tight. That is concave up. Put on the Gunnar EMA bull market support band. We are well above that. We came back to test it. We're just playing around at the 1.272 fib. That's all we're doing. And it could take another few weeks. I can't tell you exactly when, but I would bet money we're going up rather than going down. Like it's a bull market, folks. Like bull market, how could you argue with that Gaussian channel? That is such a bullish channel. Let's pull out to the monthly. Okay. Now the Gaussian channel on the monthly doesn't really mean as much to me, other than we did bounce off of it in 2022. That marked the bottom. We have tested the bull market support band several times in 2024. So there's no reason to think that we would come down on the monthly either. Things look great. This is just starting to open up. The Gaussian is just starting to go back to concave up if you really want to interpret it on the monthly. So I am bullish, 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 bullish. I'm just super bullish. So I am, again, anticipating a move to somewhere around, we'll just call it 135 to 150K, somewhere in that range in here in the middle between the 1.414 and 1.618 fib. And then I'm imagining more crabbing. And that could be, longer crabbing. Now, if Bitcoin surprises me and goes to the 1.618 and above, I'm going to be calling that a market cycle top, a major market cycle top. And I'm going to probably be talking about a bear market coming. So I don't want to see price action here yet. I would love to see price action here near the end of the year. And I'd love to see Bitcoin just kind of do a whole lot of nothing for, 6 to 8, 9 months. That would be beautiful. If it could just chill out again and just kind of do something like this, maybe after heading up here, that would be beautiful. And that's kind of my base case, that it would do something like that. And that way you could sort of look back on this fractal as an extended version of 2017 price action. So when in doubt, zoom out, right? That's what you always want to do. Okay, so that's enough about Bitcoin. I think we can look at Bitcoin and we can say this is setting the stage for a really nice move. What about altcoins? Okay, so to answer that question, the crypto market has more altcoins than it's ever had. We need to, look at a few different things. So I'd like to start by looking at Bitcoin dominance and then look at ETH Bitcoin, because those are two very important metrics in the space. And then we can kind of get into the weeds with, more of the altcoin metrics, because one of the things that people have been saying on my Telegram, at least, is that, altcoins are dead. I don't think we're going to have altcoin run like we did in the past. And it's just like, what this is making me think? Like if we go to the market psychology cheat sheet, let me just pull that up for a second. You can't see what I'm doing because it's on a different tab. But if we go to that, I'm just going to try to pull it up for you briefly. Excuse me. So let me go ahead and share this tab instead. What I'm hearing right now is a lot of depression, right? I'm hearing depression. So I think what comes next is a disbelief, a rally, right? Like people are depressed with Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin's in a depression phase. I don't believe that it is. Like these fractals, I think we're probably somewhere. Where's the bear trap on here? Maybe here, maybe in here or here, somewhere in there. Okay, realistically. But what I'm trying to say is that I feel like the sentiment that people are going to experience, especially with altcoins, right? I'm not really talking necessarily about Bitcoin, but altcoins especially, is a lot of shock at how they might just behave kind of like they always have at some point this cycle and just kind of go up. So, all right, let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin dominance. Let's pull back to the daily time frame. I'm going to go ahead and pull up dominance. Okay, so we see dominance just emerge from a red Gaussian channel, and the Gaussian channel on the daily turned green. This is on the daily time frame, so take that with a grain of salt. I want to turn my fibs on. Oh, they are on. Okay, I just can't see them because I'm blind. It's right here. So one of the things that made me a little bit unhappy with Bitcoin dominance, because I do hold altcoins, is seeing this pattern of higher lows. Initially I thought this was a bear flag formation that was likely to break down. I still kind of feel that way, but I'm getting less confident about that by the day. You could even, argue maybe a cup and handle is forming here. There is a chance, folks, that Bitcoin dominance goes to a higher high, and it's a non-negligible chance. This is starting to look bullish. So initially I called it a dead cat bounce. I'm thinking that probably is wrong, and that at the very least we're probably going to see a double top on Bitcoin dominance happen relatively soon. And the reason I believe that is because Bitcoin usually leads the way for liquidity to enter the more risky plays in the altcoin market. And I don't think that has happened yet. We're not seeing major altcoin moves happen at $100,000 Bitcoin. I think we need to get up near the 150K mark or somewhere in that range, like between the 1.414 and 1.618 fib that I talked about. And I think for that to happen, we need to see Bitcoin dominance go on another run. I think it's likely to put in either a slightly higher high or a double top at this point. So while I would love to think that it's, super bearish, there's things that are making me think that maybe that was a mistake to fade dominance so soon. On the weekly, there's no doubt that Bitcoin dominance is weakening. Right? Look at what happened here to the bull market support band. You see moves like this usually near the end of a bull run. But maybe Bitcoin dominance has a little bit more life and it can give us a run to 63% or something like that. I do think a higher high is possible, or a blow off top or something. I think of this a little bit like what happened to Bitcoin in 2021, right? Like it just kind of did, it's of course a much smaller version of it, but it kind of did a whole lot of nothing and then went up for a few months, put in a major cycle top, and then, bear market started. So I think we're very near a bear market if we're not already in one with Bitcoin dominance. It's just, things are looking kind of strong, right? Like if we pull up some moving averages, we had a death cross of the 50 and 100, but it's kind of turning around right now on the weekly close of this will be absolutely crucial to try to identify what's the most likely outcome. So I didn't think Bitcoin dominance was going to get back above all of its moving averages, and it tricked me. It fooled me. And look at what it's doing. It's actually getting above them. So this is not a good thing for altcoins. Right now it isn't. But go ahead, let Bitcoin dominance put in its last hurrah. Let it do it. I thought this was it, but that's probably not it then. Let it go up one more time. Okay. Let it just put in a double top, which is very, very bearish. A slightly higher high would also probably be bearish. I would prefer, if we're going to choose between a double top and a slightly higher high, I'd probably prefer a slightly higher high. A double top, of course, this is with the metric, so who the heck knows? It's a very bearish thing. A slightly higher high, at least Bitcoin dominance can come down maybe a little bit more slowly. I don't want to see, what I don't want to see is Bitcoin dominance just rocket to the downside, because that's usually you're getting into a bear market at that point. So you want to see Bitcoin dominance weaken, but you don't want to see it completely fall apart. And it's not going to fall apart quickly after a nearly 3-year bull run. Okay. This is going to take its time. What metrics can we look at for Bitcoin dominance? Let's see. The logarithmic regression channel. So this is kind of interesting. This is the same logarithmic regression channel that I actually use for Bitcoin, and it works really well for dominance, too. Just so happens to be a fairly strong trend. Look at this very strong trend. So we have, this is Bitcoin dominance fit to, and see, if you watch my entire videos, you get so much out of them, right? Like people are too impatient these days. I'm not pandering to the impatient. I'm pandering to the patient. Look at this beautiful linear regression channel. So we rode the bottom of it back in 2022, right? During the bear market. That's why I say you don't want to see these things. And then Bitcoin dominance just chugged along in the upper portion, and it kind of has been riding the lower portion. And look, it actually went down to the bottom of the channel, but the channel's been preserved. So where could we go, right? Like, I think we could, at the very least, test the middle of this channel. This is why I said a double top is possible. I think what's likely to happen sometime this year is that this really beautiful long-term channel, not only for Bitcoin dominance, but also for Bitcoin, is going to break. And I think it's going to break for dominance to the downside. And I think dominance is going to head towards a 0.5 fib. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for those of you who hold Ethereum. It's a good thing for those of you who hold altcoins, because that is going to be very beneficial But I think before that happens, we're probably going to get back above 60%. We might wrestle with 60%. And I think we could get to the median line. I don't think we're going to come up here. I don't think we're going to the 786 fib. Maybe we wick to 63% or something like that. That is the top of my green zone. So that could happen. It's just something to keep in mind. So that's Bitcoin dominance. It's still looking strong. I do not think, let me just be clear. I don't think that 2024 is going to be looked at. I don't think 2025 is going to be looked at as a Bitcoin year. It's starting out that way, but I think that's it. It's starting out that way. And then it's just not going to probably look that great from there. With the Bollinger Bands, they've been pretty tight, and again, this looks a little bit like the linear regression channel. It doesn't look that different, right? Here we are at the top, around 61%. So I don't think any moves are going to be enduring. I think if Bitcoin makes its way to that 150K mark, 135, somewhere in there, I do think we'll see Bitcoin dominance get another surge. I could put in a double top, maybe a slightly higher high, and then I think we really roll over into a Bitcoin dominance bear market. And I think it's likely to happen this quarter. I do. And in fact, I think it could happen in February. So, and if it doesn't happen in February, I'd say March. So I am definitely still very bullish on this quarter. Nothing has changed. I don't have a lot of new things to say about that. Let's go to ETH Bitcoin. And this is the metric that everybody's fading. They're saying, Ethereum is dead. Ethereum's never coming back. Yeah, we've heard this story before. Yeah, you fade Ethereum. See what happens when it turns around. Okay, is ETH Bitcoin scraping the lows of the red zone? Yes, it is. Does ETH Bitcoin look good right now? No, it looks like shit, but it, hey, let's put on a VRVP and let's see why I'm confident that ETH Bitcoin has bottomed. I think it's bottomed. I think it's going to spend some time scraping the lows. That's just kind of what happens when you bottom. But if we pull in some more data here, I don't even have to go that far back. Look at this brick wall of support at the 382 fib. Now we are currently kind of just straddling this. Look, we could go down lower. It could happen. Okay. I mean, maybe we could even retest 0.02833. Okay. On a final capitulation. If Bitcoin takes off, maybe Bitcoin could go to 0.02833. But the thing is, like, I'm kind of calling a bottom, like, not like a definitive bottom, I shouldn't speak in that way, but just more like we're close enough, right? We're in the final bottoming process. That's more of what I mean to say about ETH Bitcoin. Like, there's a chance that 0.03 is a low. It was actually 0.0292, but we could see a move maybe, a little bit lower to 0.02803. And man, that would really shake people out, wouldn't it? That made people think ETH is really dead. I don't think it is, though. I think ETH Bitcoin is exhausted. And it probably has a little bit more bleeding to do before all is said and done, or at the very best, some crabbing. But like, look at the SAR dots. Look at that really ferocious downtrend. You look at the Gaussian channel. It's just red. We're so far below it. This is a statistical channel that my username, the Gaussian snake, is named after. Right? I actually was inspired by this channel. I love this channel. Like, look at it. Look, we've just fallen out of the channel. This is due for a really wicked mean reversion. This happened early in the last bull run, and boom, it just caught everybody by surprise. So I think ETH is going to make the turn. If I had to guess, I think it's going to happen in February. Now, could it wait till March? Sure, but soon, very soon. You don't get this underextended. I'm kind of curious. I've never, at least not in my recent memory, have I tried to get ETH Bitcoin fit to a linear regression channel. And, like I said, I have my Bitcoin one pulled up and we could just play around with it and see how good it looks. Before I do that, though, look at this. I mean, we're just like so underextended. Like, we are just underneath this 200 week and we've been under it for so freaking long. Try to get above it a few times earlier in the year and we haven't even attempted it. It's just been blood. We're below everything. You know what this means. If I were to invert this chart, I know there's an easy, there it is. So there's an easy way to do this. Let's invert this chart. What would you say about that? That looks pretty freaking bullish, doesn't it? It looks like it's about to collapse soon. Right? So, don't bait Ethereum. I wouldn't. I wouldn't bait Ethereum. It looks absolutely hideous right now. And that's exactly when you want to start thinking about it. Look, Ethereum is not some shiny new altcoin that just debuted 5 seconds ago on Pump Fund. It is the OG layer one, most decentralized chain out there. So why would you fade this thing? I don't understand people who are saying Ethereum is dead. It is not dead. Let's look at the KZX RSI. Look at all these bullish divergence dots. This is the kind of behavior you see before a bull run. Okay, just go back in time. You've seen it before. You know, look, guys, I'm not a perma bull. I know I'm sounding like one, but I'm not. But I would be foolish to not get bullish, extremely bullish. The odds are just in favor of a very bullish move out of ETH Bitcoin. And I mean, I can pull up anything. Like, what do you want me to pull up? Like, how about the stochastic oscillator? Look at it. Look where it is. Look at this lower, low, like lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. Like, look at how much time we're spending at these low levels. Wave trend. Let's pull up wave trend. Like, everything just looks so like ready to go to the other side, right? But this is what happens. People get shaken. Look at all these dots, one after the other. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish divergence dots. These were failed dots, right? The last time we had one of these was all the way back in 2019. It has been a freaking long time. You know, it took almost 4.5 years to get a bullish dot. And that was a little bit of a relief rally right to the zero level. I think this next one's taking us to the top. Okay. And I think Ethereum is going to be strong all year long once this happens. So we might go a little bit lower. I think we print another one of these green dots, and that's going to be the green dot that finally turns us around. That's what I think. Look at it for yourself. There's no reason to be bearish on Ethereum against Bitcoin. There's no reason to think that Ethereum will continue to underperform Bitcoin this year. This is the year Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. And it will do so, I believe, for most of the year. And no, Solana is not going to come and take away significant market share. Of course it did when ETH was in a downtrend against Bitcoin. Of course. No, SWI is not going to do it either. There is no layer one chain out there that is better than Ethereum. There's just none. Nothing can compete with it. And so it wouldn't be a bad idea to consider, you know, I don't know. I haven't looked at Polygon in ages. I gave up on Polygon. I tossed it out in the garbage. But if Ethereum is about to like, you know, do some cool stuff, I think Polygon could wake up from the dead. And this is a chart that, you know, I have a lot of respect for Polygon Labs. This lower low is very unfortunate. You know, in terms of like what they're trying to do. Okay, Polygon looks absolutely horrific right now. It looks horrific. It looks horrible. But it is still technically bull flagging, right? We've seen this with Polygon before. Like if you go back in time, it bull flagged and then it just shot up. Okay, I'm not expecting anything super crazy from Polygon, but look at where it's at right now. It's at 48 cents. You know, everybody's fading this, but this is the OG layer 2 on Ethereum, and they've got rollups. They've got the aggregator layer, the ag layer. So none of this stuff has run in such a long time. It's been left for dead, and you know, like I think it's probably going to bleed a little bit more. Again, this lower low is not a great thing, but we've seen this before. It's a slightly lower low. Okay, it's a slightly lower low. We've seen things like this before. I don't know. I'm not telling you to go invest in Polygon. I'm just saying when you're looking for like massive ROI returns compared to like stuff that's already run really hard, I would be looking at things that, you know, haven't run that hard in a while. Chainlink is really affected by inflation, so I would be very careful about, you know, thinking how high this could actually go. But Chainlink's been kind of like looking good lately. It's been actually respecting its 618 fib after coming out of this nasty head and shoulders reversal. And it just pretty much hugged the bottom of its weekly Gaussian channel. And here we go back up again. So Link, what about Aave? You know, so I'm pulling up stuff on Ethereum. And these are, you know, I'm not looking at Bitcoin valuations or anything like that. This is Coinbase, whatever. So yeah, look at Aave's just been bowling out. I drew this bowl many months ago. It's been respecting that. I did own some Aave, and then I, you know, decided to throw my Aave into a meme coin because I'm an idiot like that. But yeah, I think, you know, these are all things that are worth looking at if you're into some of the lower risk plays. I would, if I had to choose between Aave, Polygon, and Chainlink, I'd go for Aave any day. Just Aave just looks better in tokenomics. Chainlink has an awesome ecosystem, but I don't like their token. And Polygon has an awesome ecosystem, but I don't like their lead developer's attitude very much. So Aave though is sort of like, if you think about like an altcoin season coming, people are going to need money. They're going to go to Aave. That is the OG DeFi lending platform, and they've really improved since the last cycle. So yeah, I remember I entered into Aave. I don't even know. I think it was somewhere around here. It's like somewhere here, and then I sold it like as it was kind of coming down, and I kind of knew at the time that it would just go back up again, and it has, right? It's at $308. So yeah, stupid me. Okay. But hey, you take risks in this market. Let's go take a look at some altcoin metrics. And before we do, let's go look at the altcoin season index. Okay, if you're already 31 minutes into this video, if you're watching and you're captivated by this information, you have the right idea. Okay, you got the right idea. You're going to learn so much in this video. I could make like 6 separate videos, right? But I'm decided not to. I want to help you out and give you as much information as I can for free. Look at this bowl. You have like a bowl, right? I can't draw it on here like without screenshotting it. Bullish. This is so bullish. This almost looked like a little like anomaly, almost like the COVID drop in reverse, that altcoin season. And it's made everybody think that altcoin season is dead. But if you go watch the past videos on my channel, you'll see that I called this line right here. I said, this is probably where we're going to find support, and we're probably going to crab here for a little while. That is exactly what happened. Go watch my old videos. You'll see. That's what I said. I'm not saying that to brag. It's just, when you pay attention to the data and you tune out the noise, like I don't pay attention to the news too much, you can get a much clearer picture. Do I think we're going to be back up here? Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And when do I think something like this could start? I think the middle to end of Q1, and potentially even into Q2. And it's funny because if you think back to 2021, that's exactly when we had a really major altcoin season, Q1, Q2. That's when it happened. You don't want to be buying altcoins up here, though. See, people they wait for altcoin season. It's like by the time altcoin season hits, guess what, guys? Most of your rich ROI has already been earned. So I think if you're going to be accumulating altcoins, and this is just my opinion, it's not financial advice, I would be looking right now like, hey, what's out there? Because to me, these are the deals of a lifetime. Could they go down some more? Yeah. I mean, the altcoin market looks like it's dead, right? And usually when things look like they're dead, this is the tricky thing about crypto. That means that something big is coming, right? Especially in a bull run. Markets don't bottom on peak fear. They bottom on, and I should say, markets don't enter into bear markets on peak fear. They enter into bull markets on peak fear. They enter into bear markets on peak euphoria. And we have not had that. Others' dominance looks good to me. In fact, it looks like it might even be forming an inverse head and shoulders. If it puts in a slightly lower low here compared to these, so be it. Gaussian channel is red and concave down, but it's more of a crabbiness, right? It's not like this, it's more of the wave comes back down. And we're seeing a lot of altcoins retrace in this way as well. So others' dominance is at 9.45. I think there's a chance it does go lower because, Bitcoin dominance is likely to go up. So if Bitcoin dominance goes up, altcoins go down. So unfortunately, I think some altcoins may not have bottomed yet, but they're in it. I would say they're in close enough to a final bottoming process. They're likely to have one last scare where maybe it just seems like, oh, this is dying. This is dead. This altcoin is just done. And some of them honestly may be done because, if you got into a rug pull or a scam project, well, there's nothing really to hold that up. But when we've seen some altcoins take some tremendous falls, I mean, Pepe was the talk of the town all year long. And I'm a huge boys club fanatic. You know that I am. I just did a video on it and we talked about it potentially coming down to these levels. And that's exactly what it did. So am I concerned about other dominance? Am I concerned about altcoins? No, I am not concerned at all. I am not the least bit concerned. People are saying, well, we're in a higher interest rate environment. And I say, okay, yeah, I hear you. But if you think back to the stock market in the Russell 2000, it's existed during high interest rate environments. That didn't stop it. In fact, I wouldn't even call this a high interest rate environment because these are interest rates that are actually pretty low compared to what happened in the 80s. So there's a Russell 2000s. It's outperforming altcoins, but Like if you go back in time to when interest rates were a lot higher, um, I don't know. Let's just start zooming back to the. Well, unfortunately, I can't go back too far. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, look at this, like this long bull run. I don't remember what. Let's go look at what the federal funds rate was. I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm like speaking the truth here, but I'm pretty sure that we weren't at like zero interest rates. Let's see. I know we were in parts of the 2000s, but let's see. Let's do a new price scale. Okay, so yeah, the federal funds rate was like at five. Look at this was going up, and the Russell 2000 was going up with it. So yeah, I think altcoins can run even in the presence of higher interest rates. Don't think that it matters as much as people think that it does. What matters more is just liquidity. And so, and unfortunately, you have sort of this like we talked about this on my channel, but you have this like K-shaped recovery that's kind of taking place right now. Okay, so what that means like is the letter K. You have like the haves and the have-nots. People who have money, they're going to be putting money in the market. That's the if I were to draw this like K-shaped recovery, right? People who have money, that's that part of the K, and the people who unfortunately don't have money won't be able to enter the market at all. So that's kind of what we're looking at. This is the others chart. This is the total market cap of all the cryptos minus the top 10. We throw on some moving averages. We are below the 50, but barely. We're hugging it. A golden cross with the 50 and 100 recently. I don't know if that will sustain itself, but it's nice to see. A 200, it should act as support. Okay. I think there's a chance we come back down to the 200, but I think it'll hold as support. So is that a big drop? What percentage is that? Let's go ahead and take a look. It's like an 18% drop. You'll feel that. It will scare you. But I don't think it means that altcoins are done. I see no reason to think that at all. This looks very crabby. In fact, let's throw an alligator on here to just see on the weekly what the alligator looks like. I think it's Williams alligator. Yeah. The alligator is just kind of, in fact, the alligator is awake, but the alligator is just sleeping. Okay. Here's where the alligator is pretty much like underwater. Alligator's awake, but overall, this just looks like a crab trend to me. You get your uptrend, you get your downtrend, and then you get your crab trend, and then boom, you take off. That's kind of the pattern we're seeing with a lot of altcoins now too. So I'm not worried. I think altcoins are going to be fine. I sound like a permabull, but I'm not trying to be. Like I'll just call it like I see it, and people always get scared around this time. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to close. So let's look at alt Bitcoin valuations. See how those look. I'll just go use the index. Why not? Okay. So we did bounce off the red zone. Let's see. Do I have fibs set up for this? I do. So this is alt Bitcoin valuations. Let me see if I can adjust the scale to have it, put decimals. Okay, I got the scale. So it's currently alt Bitcoin valuations are at 0.43. They bottomed last at, this was in the October. It was at 0.35. That was, so do I think that will hold? Yes, I do. I actually do think that will hold. I think all Bitcoin valuations are likely to continue to fall below the 236. They do look bearish right now. Not gonna lie. That bleeding could continue, but look at the Gaussian channel. Like the Gaussian channel is suggesting that we're gonna go green soon. And the way we rocketed through this channel, that is telling. So, well, I think we could come down a little bit below the 236. I don't even think we're gonna make it to 0.35 Bitcoin. I actually think we're gonna round the corner here and start to head back up. That's my base case. I think all Bitcoin valuations have likely bottomed at 0.35 Bitcoin. So I'm going to call the bottom on that. If you look at a weighted logarithmic Bollinger Band, it looks like it's turned the corner. So I'm confident calling the bottom on all Bitcoin pairs, and what that suggests to me is that an altcoin year is coming. Okay, an altcoin year is coming, and it's coming soon. February, March timeframe is where I think it will begin. And I just think this is going to be such an outstanding year for altcoins. Yes, there'll be pullbacks along the way. Well, what I wonder is, are we going to be able to get to these highs at the 1 fib? Maybe, right? Maybe. Not sure. Really don't know. It seems to be an oscillator for now. So I think so. I think we could get close to where we were before. Yeah. Whoa. I did not lock that down. Okay. Probably should have done that. All right. What else should we look at? We looked at a lot. We're already at 40 minutes in this video. If you're still here, you're going to make it, man. You are going to make it. You're learning a lot. Again, I'm packing like 6 or 7 videos into one because, that's what I would want if I were watching this. I have one other. Oh, yeah, I want to look at tether dominance. That was the other thing I want to look at. There was something. So this is stablecoin dominance. It is hugging the 0.382 fib as we expected. I drew this red zone here, this first red zone. But look, we're putting in lower lows. Ultimately, this still looks very bearish. I think we're heading down to the 236. In fact, I think we could even go under the 236. I don't think we make it down to this dark red zone, but we could. You never know. I don't think we do, though. I think we make it to the 236 and we kind of chop around in these levels. And this is probably coinciding maybe with Bitcoin hitting another top at like 150K or something. Now, I can't tell you for sure if Bitcoin's going to completely top out right now. I just don't think it is. And, maybe some evidence of that would be to go look at the Pi cycle top indicator. Whoops, wrong Bitcoin. Let's pull up the index. So let's just turn off the noise, coming back to where we started with Bitcoin. I'll turn off the Gaussian channel. I'll turn off the fib retracement. And we are going to put on some Pi cycle top stuff. So let's go ahead and turn those on. And these topping indicators I'll be looking at a lot more as we get deeper into the cycle. Why not throw on a top and bottom indicator? Okay. We are heading back up, right? We are heading back up. Let's go focus on this. We are getting close to getting a golden cross of the 111-day SMA with the 365/2 SMA. And it is around that golden cross, around that time, that you're likely to see a Pi cycle top. So I think we could, this is where I sort of think to myself, could this next run, let's put the fibs back on, be more aggressive than maybe I want it to be, right? So like, we know that we hit a Pi cycle top in April of 2021. Could we hit a Pi cycle top in April of 2025? If we go to the 1.618 to 1.786 fib, then, just going back to my Bitcoin risk, then yes, I think that will likely mark a Pi cycle top, meaning that the cycle is very close to being over. Is it over? I don't think it will end as quickly as it did in 2017 just because of diminished volatility. I think you're more likely to see some ranging, but we're going to watch out for that here at Crypto Simulation Theory. What we hope to happen is that we can get further out into 2025 where we could actually get to the, $200,000 and be within the confines of this risk metric. But I'm just not sure if that's going to happen. So, I kind of lie in wait. We'll see. And Pi cycle top indicator, while it's a very good indicator, is just one of several topping indicators. I mean, if we look at MVRV, it probably looks better than it did a while ago. I haven't pulled this up in ages. Let me turn this off. Yeah, so MVRV is finally getting above, the market value is getting above the realized, or is it the other way around? I can't ever remember. But anyway, when yellow is above blue, that's good. Okay, so I think we're heading into that period where we put in a top, and it could happen this quarter. Okay, to think that it couldn't is foolish, because when you get moving in mania, you move fast. So that's why I'm saying, while my base case is we hit another top somewhere around 150K and we crab a little bit more, and then near the end of the year we get up here, we need to be prepared for the possibility that it happens sooner. Okay, it's not my base case, but it is possible. All right, so what's the bottom line? The bottom line is there's absolutely nothing to worry about in the market right now, in the crypto market. Everything looks bullish from Bitcoin to Ethereum to altcoins if you know what to look for. Okay, let's just review. Markets do not blast off on peak euphoria, right? Peak euphoria is where you start to worry about bearishness, bear market starting. So bear markets usually start on peak euphoria. Bull markets usually take off. And I'm not just talking about Bitcoin, but just any of your assets right now that look like absolute dog, they will run on peak fear. I don't think we've seen peak fear just yet, but I think we're close. I think if Bitcoin makes a really volatile upside move, well, altcoins will get dragged up, so that'll be kind of a good thing. Alt USDs may have bottomed already. Okay, it's possible. I'm iffy that they have, but they could have. Depends on the alt. If ETH Bitcoin puts in another low on Bitcoin pulling back or something, I think you see alt get knocked down again. So I would watch out for that. But I think they're super close to bottoming. We just say, hey, they've pretty much bottomed. People are giving up on communities and telegrams. I'm seeing this, everywhere, and people are just feeling despair and depressed and thinking bull market, for altcoins is just not going to happen. I think it is going to happen, and I think it's going to be monumental and surprise people. And I think that's where you get the disbelief rally. This is why we call it disbelief. Nobody will believe it when it happens, but I think it's going to happen. Let's come back to this video in a few weeks and see how accurate these predictions were. I made a lot of them. Go ahead and jot them down. You can tell me what I got wrong in my Telegram. I don't have a lot of pride about it. I have some pride because, everybody does, but it's just more of me just trying to read what the market's telling me and position myself accordingly. And that's what I've done. So yeah, I'm very confident in this bull market this year. So thank you for joining me in the crypto simulation and for, sitting through a 47-minute video. I haven't done one this long in a while. If you really enjoy this like really deep look and this analytical look at the markets that takes away all the hype, you're going to definitely want to join my Telegram channel. It's free. And we've got 330-ish members in there right now. And we'd love to have you. In fact, a lot of the people there are from YouTube. In fact, this YouTube channel started exactly 1 year and 1 day ago. I kind of wished I could have done a video yesterday, but I didn't make it in time. So unfortunately, but yeah, on January 29th, 2024, that's the first video I ever did. So here you are 1 year and 1 day later. Congratulations if you've made it all the way since then. Hopefully I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. But yeah, I'd love to have you in my Telegram group. And I also have Twitter. I'm on there as well. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, if you want to see all my FOFAR videos. There's a lot of them. I am on, what else? I don't know. Probably other things too. So yeah, I think I said everything I'm on. But you can go ahead and look in the video description. So I think we'll just wrap it up there. Enjoy the bullishness that's about to come. There's going to be some pain probably in the next week or so, but I think things should clear up by February and start to look really good. And it's going to be fun. We're finally going to enter that part of the market cycle. It's very brief, but where things just feel like, oh yeah, this is why I'm in crypto. And all of us who've been suffering are finally going to feel good again. So, all right, folks, nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. Do your own research. As always, this is just my perspective on the market, and you do with it whatever the heck you want. Until next time, have a great journey in the crypto simulation. Bye.